evil Shredder has taken control of New York City. 4 outcast brothers rise from the sewers to take their city back.
Do not say a word about this to anyone. If you do, we will find you.
Yeah, we'll find you. I'm sorry, that came across super creepy, okay? We will find you though.
They team up with a fearless reporter in order to foil Shredder's insidious plans in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hi, I'm Kevin, and I'm here with Sean and Aaron, and we are here to discuss Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We've all just seen it. Aaron, what'd you think? Cowabunga or no cowabunga, dude?
I tried to go in with 0 expectations because I loved the cartoon as a kid. I loved the original film as a kid. And so the Ninja Turtles hold a special place in my heart. And seeing trailers for this movie, I was just like, no! Why, Michael Bay? Why are you adding Bayhem to a classic, kids show? And there was a minimal amount of Bayhem in this movie. I definitely was laughing at it a lot. Sure. But I think that was the point at times. Hopefully. I mean, regardless, I enjoyed myself.
I grew up with the cartoon. I grew up with the video games, so I'm sad to say I wanted to go in with 0 expectations, but I went in with rather negative expectations, and I was entertained by this movie, but I think partially that's due to the fact that it was pretty darn stupid. Yeah. And I just kind of had a good time realizing how stupid the movie was. I think there is a problem in the fact that the action sequences, which are not excessive in the way that Michael Bay action sequences are, so they are enjoyable. They don't really gel well with the Ninja Turtles themselves. I think that the action is sort of made for the adults while the Turtles are made for the kids. Sure. And I think it just doesn't really ever, make a seamless, it doesn't really join up in a cohesive way.
There were some times where I was like laughing at the script going, God, that's not good. But at the same time, but then you start to realize, I think everybody knows that it's supposed to be kind of a goofball thing. Yeah. And then I started to be like, all right, I relaxed to it. And I was okay with it.
Yeah, and the characterizations of the Turtles are pretty much exactly the same as they were in the original iterations, but they're amped up a little bit. Like Michelangelo is a little bit more ridiculous, Donatello is a little bit more nerdy, Raphael is a little angrier, Leonardo's just kind of a little flatter, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, he didn't have much of a character. Megan Fox plays April O'Neil, the intrepid reporter who goes after this big story. I like her, and I feel like she gets a bad rap because she's so hot. And she's almost so hot that she doesn't look real. And I have to mention it because it's just odd. But I'm glad to see her in another Michael Bay production since there seemed to be a falling out at one point. So clearly that's been fixed. And I thought she did a good job. I think people aren't going to give her the credit, but she holds her own for the first 20 minutes of the movie because there's no turtles in it. Are you going to be on the hate April O'Neil bandwagon right now?
Yeah, kind of, but only because she just has the same tone of voice the whole movie. And it's not that I hate her. I don't. I thought that she was fine and I enjoyed her on the screen, but she could have done a little more. William Fichtner is in this movie.
Good actors got to spout the worst lines.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he had the worst in the movie, actually.
You mean, and by worst, you mean the best line.
Well,
What are you?
We're ninjas.
We're mutants.
Well, technically we're turtles.
Oh, and we're teenagers. But we can still have adult conversations.
So Jonathan Liebesman directed this film, and he directed one of my favorite movies of the last couple of years, Battle Los Angeles. Just kidding. It's not a good movie.
I didn't hate it.
It's so bad.
I hate it.
But I thought he did a fine job with this one. Yeah. It seemed to fit in right with the Michael Bay stuff, but it wasn't as obnoxious and hardcore Bay. No, so I thought it worked.
It was good.
I thought he had good sensibilities.
I mean, I definitely think that there was nothing he particularly gave to this that I don't think somebody else could give to it.
One thing I really enjoyed was the production design of their home, their lair. There were so many cool things. There was, a giant wall of boom boxes, and there was a chair that was made out of full skateboard decks with the wheels and everything, and they had all the TV screens, the computer screens. It was just a really interesting and fresh take on their environment, because, the original films, it's just kind of dark and murky and looks like a sewer. But here, it just it gave the Turtles more personality, and it gave the Turtles more of a connection to our current pop culture and then popular culture of the last 15 to 20 years.
You're not going to go see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles unless you want to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And actually, it's a pretty good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I'm going to say, see it.
I just think it's too stupid for me to justify telling people to spend their hard-earned dollars on this movie. It's perfectly fine to watch at home. If you turn off your brain, you might have a shell of a good time. So I say, stream it.
It is very silly, and it's not well written, but I did enjoy myself, and people who like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are gonna see this movie regardless. They should do it in the theater where it's big and loud and fun. So I say, see it.
Well, our votes add up to 2.5 tickets, which is a see it for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Cheers. Heroes in a half shell. She didn't come across as Irish to me.